Well, hello everyone. I don't know if you can hear me properly, but yeah, I'm just starting this stream. There we go. Awesome. Well, there seem to be okay. No guests. I'll just get this started already. So, today I was thinking about talking about my idea of loudness and loudness in the relation of actually appreciating and enjoying certain songs. Because something that I learned that's kind of crazy is that distortion, despite it sounding louder on guitars and everything, distortion actually makes the signal weaker and it makes it quieter. So I'm thinking my music, I master it kind of quiet. So I've always had this idea that for whatever reason, my music sounds horrible when it's turned down, when it's not uh, loud. And I live in an apartment building. I have a huge stereo, but I live in an apartment building, and I can't necessarily turn my music up loud even slightly, although I do get away with quite a bit. My neighbor says that my music is loud, but my music is good. It's not like crappy music. So I hope that she's okay with me playing it somewhat loud because there is nothing, and I will say this with full certainty, there is nothing like um, playing your music and listening to music loud. It's like being at a concert or whatever. You hear the bass, you hear it hits you right here, it hits you. And it's just a whole different experience. I mean, there is an entire genre made around this phenomenon. It's like EBM or electronic body music or something like that. It's pretty cool. So I'm hoping that some people swing by, but if not, that's okay. We'll just call it a fluke stream or something like that. Um, Last time I think something like 24 people showed up during the entirety of the stream, which is really cool. If people watch this on the replay, then that's I'm hoping that they'll find something from it of use. Um, but yeah, just listening to music loud is something of a revolutionary act. It's not revolutionary because it's not fighting someone, but what I'm saying is it's just kind of it changes your life for the better. I think when a lot of people they listen to music and like I had this roommate of mine who was really cool. Like he was so much more up on the internet stuff than I ever will be and all the culture and music and everything like that. Um but I don't know if he listened to music the same way that I did, which was like I would know all the lyrics, I would know all the like I understand the bass line and everything like that. I'd really go in depth with it. But he was saying that he would listen to more music than me. He would listen to more music. Um, I guess just play one playthrough or two or three playthroughs of a whole bunch of different music, and it's like, yeah, that's cool and everything. I mean, it's cool to listen to a wide variety of music, but you really wanna give it, some time to breathe. You really wanna give it some time to, for you to understand just the complexity of each part of it. That's my cat, by the way. Her name's Petra, like the, Jordanian, I think that's how you say it, um, ancient resort city. She's a beautiful cat. I picked her up, from a family that I know, and, she's 13 years old, so she's a senior cat. I love having her around. She's really fun to have around. She's really super easy to take care of. Doesn't get into a lot of trouble, so that's cool. But anyways, yeah, loud music. Loud music is it like I don't know. I know one person who basically says that they don't like listening to music even above talking level. Right? And to me, that's like watching a movie just to have something on in the background. It's not actually consuming the product. Music is so deep and beautiful and extreme that you really do have to just take it all in. Let yourself have some time to just kind of soak yourself into this soup. Well, yeah, it seems like no one's showing up, but that's okay. I'll just keep on trucking. I'm sure that everyone's over at the Pete John's show. If anyone gets bored of that, which would be sacrilege, but I mean, if they switch off at that and find my stream, I'd be very happy. Aw, my kitty is so cute. So, what I was planning on doing today is going through on Deezer. This is my Deezer. Going through some of I have playlists on Deezer and stuff like that, House of Pain and stuff. I have Deezer playlists of all of my music that I've released onto there, and it sounds pretty good. I don't know how it's going to sound over the stream, but this one, the newest one, Highway to Tomorrow, has some of my newer music on it that I've released, and I thought that I would play a bit of it on this stream and kind of go over reasons as to why it doesn't sound impressive even slightly at a lower volume because of I mean, I've heard someone say before that my music was like um what is it, elevator music. And I've also seen a meme that said that as a producer, you get to a certain point where you either make a certain type of music or elevator music or blah blah blah. But oh hey, Lord Spike Protein, I'm really happy to see you here. You're one of the regulars on Clay's stream on Conspiracy Music stream, which is really cool. I'm glad you kind of stopped in. I've had a couple of beers, and I'm kind of thinking that I wanted to explain something to a lot of people out there. Is that my music sounds boring? Like it sounds boring until you turn it up. And the whole reason why I wanted to make music in the first place was so that you could just pump it in your car stereo. And like there's not a lot of places that you can actually pump music because like I said before, I have a huge stereo system with like a Yamaha amp, and my neighbors would kill me. They would come down here and they would light me on fire if I were to turn my stereo up. So I really still have that hunger for loud music, for loud stuff, and I find there's a lot of people in the community that if you don't listen to the music loud, if you don't blare it on the system or have a preamp for your headphones or whatever, you don't necessarily get the full. picture. One thing I will say is that uh one thing I will say is that it's kind of misleading when we hear music on streams and stuff like that. It's misleading because the quality of the music on the stream may sound a lot worse than the actual quality of the video because it's like, of course, doubled. They have to stream it or whatever. I don't know. It just takes down from the quality. So if you actually go to the person's page and listen to their mix, it sounds way better. YouTube is pretty good. YouTube is basically like 41 kilohertz or whatever. I don't know. It's CD quality. But I'm gonna start playing this, like one of the songs off of this playlist, and then I will ask if my levels are okay. Um, let's play this, just like an intro track. Super Acid. And super acid, of course, I don't know if you know this, but it's ketamine, which is a pretty trippy drug. Let's see if it doesn't really sound like it's coming through on my end. All right. Okay, yeah, it's coming through fairly well. I have to do something on my phone as far as my microphone so that I don't, every single time I speak, it doesn't screw up the, yeah, there we go. Oh. I'm very new at this, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to kind of get sorted. Is that coming through okay? The music? It's kind of an experiment with I've got my my audio interface plugged into my phone, which is plugged into my mic, and then I've got another screen that is plugged into my computer. So I'm just trying to. This is like it's almost like a test stream. So yeah. Maybe I'll take off my headphones. Okay. I'll turn on my stereo. Sounds a lot better. Okay. Although I do have an echo. All right. Your mic is fine, but your audio level is low. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to fix that. Okay, I'm back. I kind of screwed that up. I think I might have to use my headphones because I'm getting a lot of yeah. There we go. sounds awful on the headphones, but hello, Semtex Cow. It's good to see you. I don't know how to turn off the thing where if my microphone is playing. Hello? Alright. Holy crap. Well, this has been a learning experience. Okay, maybe that's not the best audio source to play from. Yeah, so how is everyone doing today? I am going to probably... I am probably going to go into my FL Studio and show people perhaps how I make music, perhaps, or at least show one of my older projects. There's a lot of... Okay, cool. So I've been doing this thing lately where I've been creating wave files. I've been creating songs, like parts of songs. So let's say here, I'll show you. I'll go to one of my older files. Okay, so funk and bass. Let's go to this. I just name these things random things because I have so many of them, hundreds of them, that yeah. So there I have a drum sample that I've chopped up and kind of, and then I had some like a bass sample. I don't know how I can. Okay, I'm gonna turn this up. No, wait. Okay. And then I actually drew these in with the piano roll. See, as you can see, you can kind of. See if I highlight any of those, it plays it. This is kind of a weird time signature. But yeah, and if you play just the isolated track, it sounds like this. It's a weird time signature. I don't know how... It sounds really bad on my headphones. I don't know why. But then I've got this. It's like a pad or something. And I've got other things, other parts of it. And I do all of this in the same key. And this is why I've been saying sometimes that I've been kind of like a hack or whatever. It's because I do it in the most... I make songs in the most streamlined fashion. I get into one vibe. I make like one part of a song, and then I believe that was Hella Nice. And then I record each part and mash them together, and I make like, I don't know if maybe I'm making songs that are less complicated than other people's songs, but at least I'm making each part of it myself. I don't know. I think that like if you hear this whole song together, it sounds pretty sweet. There's that cowbell sound. Yeah, I go with the flow syntax. This is I don't know how it sounds on your end. Sounds pretty bad on my end, but okay. So, um I kind of sometimes I think some musicians are really good at being able to look at the commercial side of music, look at the kind of business side of music, and be able to crank out. Sorry, I'm grabbing something that fell off the table. So they're able to look at the business side of it. So the music becomes a commercial property, and I think there's a tension in between wanting your music to sound unique or avant-garde, even if we're going to go to the extreme, and having like a commercial radio-ready product to sell. And I don't know. I think the only thing that comes in between having that product versus a piece of art um, is our ability to allow us to enjoy it being what it is. You know, like our music has to come from the heart and has to be our weird perspective on the world because it's going to be that way anyways. But um, if we can just embody that, I wish we could embody that instead of putting like monetary value on what is innately a human phenomena. Like let's say like cavemen in the woods. They want to sing, they want to make art. They will just it's like hearing your voice off of the firelit trees and in the middle of nowhere. It's a human expression. Art is amazing, and I don't think my stuff is really all that much a product, but yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. Obviously, I've had a couple drinks tonight, and I'm just here having fun. I'm glad that there's 4 people with me watching this. Um, yeah, to get back to this whole idea of being a hack is because I don't know why. I don't know why I see using samples, as in using other people's melodies and stuff like that, as kind of cheating. Um, but at the same time, some people do magic with those samples, so I don't know. It's really difficult to kind of put my finger on because I don't know any of these files. Anyways, yeah, I'd like to think about this whole music community that I'm a part of. And I think it would be very cool if everyone were transparent about how they make stuff. Not that they aren't already, but it would be really cool because, like, if someone makes something like what I've just made, and they make it on a garage. Sorry. Okay. Um, some guy. Oh, I'm not sure why we haven't seen much from you over on the shows. Some guys do awesome with loops, making something unique, but know what you mean. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm a tad bit tipsy, just kind of finishing off my beer. But I really appreciate having people around from the community. One thing I have a question is, not sure why we haven't seen much from you over the shows. I mean, I don't know if this goes back from like I took a month off. I took a month off of being on my computer. I was on my phone on some of the shows, but Yeah, no, I'm back at it. I'm trying to make a new album. I had this one weird experience when I was sick, where it kind of almost caused me to not want to rap anymore, not want to write lyrics or perform lyrics. I mean, I part of me wants to do rap as kind of a silly, like a fun thing to do, like an outlet for my bullshit. But yeah, I also don't want to come across as being like, I don't know. There's this old thing when you're a rapper that you have to speak about what's real in your life, and you have to speak about um I don't know, just like if you come across as a gangster or a rich person, or you have this kind of swag about you, it may come across as being disingenuous, and people will see that. I don't know how much of that matters, because what I want to do is I want to make silly gangster rap based out of space, where there's vampire bat and there's a raccoon that go, and it'll be like a space opera, but silly. I'm thinking Conker's Bad Fur Day, perhaps. So yeah, I'm basically riffing here. I don't really know much about what to talk about. I thought that this would work better, my screen sharing, but I don't think it will. So um, I'm gonna go on to there. Yeah, I'll get out of that. Um, yeah. So, anyways, this stream has kind of been like a slow train wreck as it's been going along and stuff. Um, I don't know. I guess I can just talk about me and my life and what's been going on with me. Um, music. I had this fear that if I took a month off of music, that I would inevitably stop making music altogether, that I'd lose steam, like that after I had like been away from it for a certain point of time, that I'd completely give it up. But that hasn't happened. So, dude, I think you just need to do and not think about what anyone but you like. Yeah, I've been really trying to drill that into my home, or my dome. Like I've been really trying to think. It's a paradox. It's a paradox when you're always trying to please other people, when you're always trying to do something that you think is socially acceptable. You're always going to run into problems. But if you do what you want to do, and you go out of your way to insist that your creative view of the world is something that is relevant and real, I believe that you get more people to follow you that way. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to come across as an arrogant asshat, which is, it's weird. It's a weird paradox. I think the more you think that you know everything, the more people will. I guess some people will follow you, but the more it seems like you don't actually know anything. Because, in my opinion, like, people who assume that they have all these answers for everything, they're the first people that you have to kind of watch out for. They have this like one line answers to describe existence. Like, this is the answer to existence. It's kind of like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Fuck that shit. Do what makes you shine. Depends on what you want to achieve from this, but you ain't real. You'll get found out and boom, ended. Um, I'd like to ask you what you mean by if you ain't real, cause that that kind of I don't know, that kind of makes me question things. Um, yeah. I think that if I want to be able to do me, right? If I want to be able to represent myself in the world, if I want to be able to be me to the fullest degree, I have to first figure out what that is and what that entails. So it's like I don't think it's you know we don't have all the answers. We don't know 100% what how to find ourselves or how to figure out how to navigate this world. So for me, I think yeah, if you're making tunes that ain't what you love, you're doing it what you do because you'll think it'll get you full acceptance. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, now I'm kind of understanding what you're getting at. So people who it's all about art, right? Like to be creative, to make art is something that you have to do from the heart because what you're trying to do is you're trying to give people essentially a concentrated version of life experience. You are by doing what you do, you are essentially trying to give people joy. You're giving them an escape from their pain. You're giving them something to relate to. You're giving them something that is incredible. I mean, you don't know how much, even at your simple songs or your poetry or whatever you do, you have no idea how deeply it can affect someone. And yeah, I do understand now where you're coming from when you say that when you can really definitely find out someone if they are making like a commercial contribution to this like machine of it's kind of like AI art basically. Like if you're just churning out, say someone were to write AI art and pictures and stuff like that and churn them out and make money from doing that, they'd get found out pretty quick. But if you're um, making art in a very genuine way, I guess it would be kind of easy to tell. And yeah, and that kind of makes me think. That kind of makes yeah, you can do songs about your journey. Well, my journey is ever evolving, but I mean from the very start, like I okay, what it sounds like you're like me. You got ideas, but you not your own. Oh, one sec, I have to not your own sound. I've been doing this for a few months. My stuff comes out, but limited by my skills. Do what you do, find who you are. But a reminder that song means and says a lot, something to different to a lot of people. You know, when I'm making a song, I just sit down at the computer and I find all these amazing electronic sounds. I find all of these amazing um, VST synthesizer sounds, and I'm just like, it's a spontaneous thing. It's a spontaneous thing. Like I do picture myself in different places. I picture my like it's a visual kind of journey in my imagination, but it's really impromptu. I sit down at the computer and I pluck away. It's almost like having a whole Lego set in front of you, but making something like just random. And it's more about like it doesn't represent exactly a set point in my life, but it represents the moments, every moment. Because I make about 2, 3 songs a week, so it when I listen back to them, I can it harkens back to a kind of moment in my life where I feel like I don't know, just it's weird. It's weird. Yeah. So it seems like there's only a couple of people on this stream, and it's going to be like that the whole time. But I think that Pete Johns has a stream going on right now. I was in the Jade Star stream, which was pretty amazing. Hugh Caldwell did an awesome interview. Um, but yeah, this is just me wanting to kind of connect with a couple of people. What I really do appreciate the community's sense of positivity and the ability to not judge too harshly things in our community. Ah, it's my buddy Robbie. This is an IRL friend. The amazing thing about music is it comes from within you. To think how much diversity exists musically says how much creativity is in us all. And you know, the thing about you, Rob, that I love so much is something in me changed when you showed me the lyrics that you wrote. The I don't know if it was black metal lyrics, but it was just it's just lyrics of the stuff that you'd been holding onto for a while in your notebook. Um, you have some amazingly imaginative and literally rich like literature with your lyrics, and I think that if anything, you should continue on working on that side of yourself. Like uh there's something about it's a different skill. Like certain lyricism is about the sounds of the syllables, or it's about saying the biggest concept with the most basic words, or this or that. There's always like a template for whatever, but it's with your stuff, it's almost like it's just like it's like Lovecraftian, because with Lovecraft, it's very rich dialogue. It's very like yeah, similar to you. It's like going into a trance. To make the music, you tap into something, a source. I do believe that, and that source probably is it's not only the consciousness that we are using as people who are alive in this on this rock hurling through a void, but it's also the understanding and the gratitude that also is behind that existence. Like it's one thing to be conscious of this world, but to be grateful for the for even any moment of being conscious in this world, to create music that people will essentially have life changing qualities to. I mean, it's amazing, you know. I find that in my real life, I don't do too much. I mean, I'm a cashier at a grocery store, and I make music on the side, but I don't necessarily get out, and don't have very many friends, and I don't necessarily do uh, too much stuff. Hey, Gordium, I'm glad that my friend Rob's here, because yeah, that's really cool. I like having my real IRL friends show up in chat. It's pretty sweet. Um, Yeah, and obviously there's other shows that we all. Oh, nice. Wayak's here. Wayak, is it Wayak or Wyack? I don't know if you can even translate that, but you know, this has just been a ramble, and I think that's exactly what it's going to be every time I make a stream. It's going to be a ramble of just random stuff that I'm willing to be completely 100% honest about. I'm gonna take these silly headphones off. It's kind of messing up my vibe. So yeah, Rambling on. You know what? I saw this one guy. His name is, I think his channel's name was I Have Schizophrenia. And, hey, LDG is here. That's awesome. Um, so there's a channel called I Have Schizophrenia. I think it's one word in all in lowercase letters. But he has a video that has over like a few million views, and it's him just basically riffing about what makes a person with schizophrenia. What a person with schizophrenia's bad day would look like. Like if they had a bad day, what would that entail? So I mean, riffing and hanging out, maybe it has some kind of an appeal to things. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm really all that interesting of a person, but everybody, like I said before on the last stream, I was saying before everyone kind of dogpiled into the stream, I was saying that I watched a video on someone who said that one of the people's biggest fears about vlogging is that they say that they don't have an interesting life. And one thing that contradicts that is that I want to be able to make my experience of mental health and music, coming from a place where I think it's somewhat hard to grasp or it's hard to comprehend for most people. I want to be able to make it as easy and bite-sized and digestible and palpable as much as possible, so that I can reduce stigma on my own. Like, yeah. I was talking about symptoms last time on my stream. If you ever get a chance to watch it, I was talking about how the actual literal complications and symptoms that I face. But what I didn't get into is this idea that most of my days are pretty normal. Like what you see is what you get. I'm not entirely wild, off the rails or whatever. I What happens to me is basically I get to the point where if I get stressed out, my symptoms start showing through. So I start hearing voices, I start hearing, and it's always surrounding me, like everything. um Imagine going outside into the world. Imagine going outside into the world. Sorry, I'm gonna read these. Yeah, Jared, if I ever came across as aggressive, it's not meant. I'm just very to the point at times, never mean offense. Oh yeah, no, and I'm very like open to kind of it. A lot of times when people are offensive or whatever, it's actually self-defense. When someone lashes out at someone, it comes from a fear of being attacked themselves, so they lash out first, right? um so I understand that. Like I mean, I'm one of the most open-minded people in the world. I've had previous political leanings that went this way, then that way, then back and forth and stuff, and I've seen things from a lot of different perspectives. But like when it comes down to it, what I rely on mostly is coming back to kind of a Buddhist, and I mean secular Buddhist, because I know there's a weird thing with like the Tibetan Buddhist Dalai Lama. He did something weird. I'm not going to go into it. I mean, if you know, you know, but it's kind of weird. Um, but Tibetan Buddhism is kind of like its own religion. It's kind of like a dogmatic religion. I'm into like the way of lifestyle of just completely taking away harm from the world around me. Oh, what's up, Rob Hellfire? He put some hyperbole in there. Anyways, yeah, exactly. The whole Dalai Lama thing is just ugh, don't want to. I want to wash my hands clean of that. It's not that I was ever into Tibetan Buddhism, because that literally it's like the difference between Scientology and science. It's like one thing is a lifestyle. It's like going into the world and wanting at its core essence to be able to remove harm from the world around you, is to be able to reduce and remove unnecessary pain and suffering from around you. So yeah, that's weird, isn't it? I know, Rob. It's weird, and you start to think about the intentions behind what they're doing. If they are monks and they are celibate, what is the reason behind that? Are they holding something back from themselves, or are they genuinely going into it? Like, is this guy just kind of like doing it for social, I don't know, approval or something? It's weird. It's weird. I can't even get into it, but yeah, exactly. Be excellent to each other, Bill and Ted. Yeah. Sometimes some of the best advice can come from some of the simplest places. One of my favorite shows was Adventure Time, because essentially, if you've watched a few of the episodes, especially in season one, um Adventure Time you'll come across so many stoicism kind of quotes. Lou Reality, Leela, is a big fan of Stoicism. She even made a song called The Painted Porch, which Stoicism is like Stoa is the painted porch. And it's a philosophy of the common everyday life kind of thing. But anyways, Adventure Time is dope. I don't care who knows it. It's like one of the funniest and funnest shows of all time. Another good one is Gravity Falls. I don't know if anyone has seen that. It's a bit more on the kiddie side, but it's a good show. Um, yeah, I don't know. As far as and now I'm trying to figure out where to go as far as the topic, because I'm this way and that way. Stoicism is cool. Yeah, it is. It is really cool. What? There we go. Thank you. If people gave me topics from the chat all the time, I would just be able to be like a mean green talking machine. Oh, this is kind of teal. It's Doctor Doom, by the way. Word to KVK. What games have I been playing? I have been literally playing no video games. I've been working. My video game has been my music production. I've been watching a lot of old Batman cartoons on my new big screen TV. That is dope. My son loves Gravity Falls. I had a hard time following. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's fun. Just like life's silly. Life is short. If you're gonna experience life, just sit down. I don't know, smoke a bowl, watch cartoon. Like it's very fun to kind of let loose. I know people who kind of oh yeah. I do in fact Cluj. Oh yeah, this is like some people think it's all about MF Doom or something like that, like the rapper or whatever. I have been listening to that lately, but it's definitely whenever I wear this shirt, I always think of KVK. Yeah, there's this weird thing in Western civilization that like to. Oh yeah. All right. Have a great day, Lord Spike Protein. Yeah, it's like what makes the what is the difference between an action figure and some kind of a trinket that you buy at a flea market? Like some kind of a like I don't know, just like something you'd put on an altar or something like that. There's we have we have different meanings for every single thing that we have in our lives, and what is really the powerful part of that? Is it the meaning that we put behind the things that we own in our lives, or is it the actual things themselves? For me, I think the intention is a lot crazier. I recommend the book Zen Guitar. I know that there's a book called Zen and the Art of Screaming. Is that similar? I I like the fact that this stream has been kind of a mess of me rambling, but I'm very. It's different. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like. I'm 45 and I still play with Lego toys and watch cartoons. Once a dad, always a dad. I've always thought to myself that I put a lot of pressure on myself to think that if I was a dad, I may not be able to follow through entirely with being a good and responsible guardian. But I'm working on myself, and maybe someday, maybe when I'm older, maybe when I'm more responsible and more level-headed, I might be able to think about that even slightly. But a dad is one of the most precious, most amazing, and I hope you feel proud of yourself. No matter what's going on, I hope you feel proud of yourself. Legos are fun, LGG, and that's how I make my music. I really I think that being that music is accessible, it's all about the intention. I think we were talking about this before, but it's like if you're fake, you'll be found out. Um, I don't know what separates fakeness from honesty when it comes to making music, because things are getting so accessible that, say, like back in, I don't know, the 60s, recording with one mic in a room and stuff like that, and playing all the instruments and playing them all at the same time would be maybe foreseen as being real. Um, but then now we're making beats on our computers and stuff like that. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah, and you know what? It's good to criticize yourself, but at the same time, it's good to also be able to think of yourself in a way that that you can take criticism, that it's not that you're no different than other people. Have some humility. Because my music it may be amazing to some people, but to like an audio engineer or something like that, they can see all the flaws and everything like that. So sometimes I like asking people who don't know anything about music, what do you like about this? And they're like, oh, I like the thing that goes ting 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 ting. It's like, okay, you like the hi hats, that's cool, but you like it, like it works. And I think I've learned from writing and stuff like that, and reading books about writing, is that sometimes the best advice is from the people who don't understand the fundamentals or the building blocks or the details about how to make something. Rather, they look at it as this one entire piece and they say to themselves, that works. That is awesome. I don't know what it is about it, but it works and it's awesome. When you get into the details of things, you think, oh well, that one that one note in that guitar solo was off slightly, so this sucks or whatever. It's just like, yeah, the details suck about that kind of things. Anyways, I don't know. I'm talking so much that I'm making myself dehydrated. I'm very happy for every single person who showed up tonight And I just all I wanted to do was connect with all of you. And by the way, Rob, if you're into it, we have other streams that you can be a part of. There's a huge community online. Like Gordium, I'm on his Discord. Princess LDG, she's on there too. There's a lot of people out there that you can reach out to and talk to about music. And the one thing that you had a group of people that I mean, I don't know them at all, but they seem kind of critical about metal and stuff like that. That's why I left the chat. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there. I can introduce you to a lot of different people. I'd really be happy if you were a part of all of this. But anyways, I feel like I've ranted enough tonight about just I'm gonna watch this tomorrow and think to myself, this is silly, this is hilarious. But I'm very happy to have all of you here, and I hope to see you soon. I'll be in the chats, and yeah, that's a cool point. Yeah, listening to the instruments separately is pretty awesome. Anyways, I gotta get some water. I gotta like figure shit out for tonight. So I'll see all of you later. You have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, thank you. Bye.